I'm your host, Eddie Avil, and today we're joined by Ildar and Youssef the founders of Pieeg, who are on a mission to democratize neuroscience by turning affordable Raspberry Pis into high-precision brain-computer interfaces, from open-source virtual reality headsets that let you control digital avatar with your thoughts to artificial intelligence agents that read your live brain waves. Appreciate you guys taking time and being part of the podcast. So, Yillar, this is the second time that we're doing an episode with you. So, it will be great if for those people who have not seen the episode, though I'm going to leave the link behind, maybe it'll be great if you could start with maybe explaining what is Raspberry Pi and how did you leverage it to build your precision brain computer interface?
Yeah. So Pieeg actually, yes, it's for now it's already not just only Raspberry Pi. Yes, we started a few years ago as just only one device that's allowed you convert Raspberry Pi to brain computer interface. But for now, we already significantly extended our capability, opportunity. Now we operate not just only with Raspberry Pi. We are created already independent variable hardware for measure biodata brain computer interfaces. It's called Iron BCI software, different types of applications. And now, yeah, we're already hardware, software companies that allow you in low cost segment and open source. It's very easy. And most importantly, it's for all measure your biodata, signals from brain, eyes, muscles. It's different types. So yeah, it's something what we are doing in Pieeg.
Perfect. Yusuf, you have recently joined on board as a co-founder for Pieeg XR, and your background is basically software architect. What specifically drew you to Pieeg, and how has your background in computers and AI helped you, shape this Pieeg forward?
Um, Thank you for having me. Over the last few months, we essentially build a full brain computer interface operating system, not just a device, not just a software for acquisition or algorithm. It's really an operating system, and what makes it unique, it's an operating system that runs entirely inside the web browser. So a device like this one, we'll have it soon on the market, can connect directly to the browser, nothing to install, and you'll have the full suite of Pieeg server, like all the other features, but no installation, no problems, no troubleshooting. We need developers, creators, researchers worldwide to start working on BCI like in 10 seconds, not spending days just to figure out how to get it done. And this is perhaps where my background comes in the picture, because I'm essentially not in neuroscience or BCR. It's like just a few months ago that I'm interested in the field, so I have other experiences and bringing them to the BCI. As a developer who spent like 2 decades in telecommunications or other stuff, AI agents. Seeing how BCI operating right now is like seeing something from the 90s, it's really really old. So it's just bringing modern and software, like right now software to the BCI and the web. What a medium, because right now you can use a Pieeg device on a TV, So there is the web. Let us do this. The web is everywhere. So this is my contribution.
Exciting. I mean, the brain computer interface technology, I mean, it's in such a nascent stage and it's evolving really, really fast, and I think for the convergence of maybe, artificial intelligence is going to accelerate further. There'll be a lot of people, who will be listening who might not understand what a brain computer interface is. So Ildar, it'd be great if you could maybe explain what a brain computer interface is, the both, like the invasive as well as the non-invasive. And how do you go about capturing the brain data, the EEG, EMG, and ECOG? Will be great if you could maybe explain that.
From my point of view, a brain computer interface, of course, it's hardware. We always call that we measure signals from brain, but to be honest, we measure all brain computer interface, not invasive. Let me confirm. They measure voltage. It's voltage the same as in your power circuit. You can take multimeter and measure voltage. It will be 220. But when you measure voltage between 2 points on the head, it's microvolts. It's very low voltage, and this voltage already has correlation is some activity inside your brain that we call EEG. And this EEG is very noisy data. It's something like sinusoid, we can say, but inside the sinusoid, we have different types of frequency range. And this frequency range, alpha, theta, beta, gamma, have some information. So you can take this frequency, calculate it, and see which correlation you have. It's a lot of, you take just only biodata, some measurement, but after that you have a lot of way how to use it, this data to find some correlation, to extract some future. It's a lot of different types of opportunity. It's very hard to make it the first signal processing to make it clean, not just only noise. And after that, already find some really meaningful for you and make some suggestions. If compare what difference between invasive and non-invasive, invasive you just only touch with electrodes without any surgery. It's very easy, but from another side, for this reason, it's exactly a little more far, quite far from brain. It's much more noisy, and it's allow you just only some general information about your brain. It's not something when you work with invasive technology, you can touch just only some area of your brain that's responsible for movement or something for visual, and already targeted this area. But with invasive technology, we just only can make some mood of your non-invasive, we can just only measure some mood of your brain. It's a little more limited. But we are going and creating, as Yusuf showed, much more new devices as Octopus 16 with very low, a lot of channels for non-invasive technology. It's something new for these directions. So, and yeah, I said probably from my side, it's looks like that, but I believe probably and Yusuf can add something, especially from programming, from architecture point of view.
For me, I don't know where I heard this analogy, but it's for me it's a really cool analogy because it makes me understand what is PCI about. It's like having a stadium. We're in World Cup right now and have a microphone outside the stadium and trying to know who scored the goal. This is impossible, but we can know easily that there is a goal because people is cheering. This is BCI for me. It's like a peripheral, is a mouse and a keyboard, and I just try to know is there a goal and what is the goal? Define it. What is the goal and try to build around it. That's a seamless experience. For example, for a Pieeg XR, the goal is to animate an avatar face. So the goal is clear, and we have the electrodes, so we can do testing and can have algorithms, and the goal is clear. There is nothing mystical about it. It's electrical signal, and transmit them to an avatar face interface via face interface. You know, before I work in DCI full time, I was just watching papers and research, reading papers, and I can see what can we do with PCR right now, you know, because the technology is here, sensors are there, algorithms are here. This is now running on the web. So for me, it's just a peripheral. This is BCI. It's an interface, a mouse, a keyboard, and one day I will put this here and have my podcast read at the speed that suits my mental fatigue. As simple as that.
So, guys, yes, I think brain-computer interface, is so fantastic, and both of you guys explained it so beautifully. Both the invasive as well as the non-invasive BCIs. And we are just scratching the surface at this point in time. And I think if we kind of understand our brain, and if I mean, we create a bi-directional brain-computer interface, I think the applications that we would create will completely change the world, and there are so many companies around the world who are kind of building for that future where we are able to maybe completely understand the language of the brain, the wirings and the firing of the brain. So there's been so many interesting things happening in this in the brain computer interface research. There's been companies such as OpenBCI, there's Wario, there's Neurable, who started with a virtual reality headset where they said that they could control games, and I think they've pivoted to brain computer interface headphones. And then there's Meta, which has been working on a neural wristband. Through your nerve signals you can actually interface with AR, VR, MR. Yusuf, will be great if you could walk us through the hardware, of the system. Uh, how do you, give a lowdown on the hardware, and how do you integrate it to the virtual reality headset, and how does the 8-channel micro electrode arrays function in that setup?
The Pieeg hardware is there is a lot of different hardwares. We have the original Pieeg, as Ildar mentioned. It's like a Raspberry Pi Shield. We have 8 and 16 channels in this hardware. This is like a legacy, I think, hardware. More recently, there are RNBCI. RNBCI is for wearable, Bluetooth, not a shield. It's an independent piece of hardware that communicates directly with the browser, nothing to install. We have also RNBCI 32. It's with USB. It's a serial independent. It's not a shield again, and we can plug it. And also, it can communicate with the browser directly. Micro BCI. We have a shield for Arduino. I don't know. I'm checking the website. At the same time, there are a lot of a lot of hardware, but essentially, for me personally, I use Iron BCI because it's a wearable for a developer. Like it's wonderful. I can test a lot of concepts out of it. Right now, Pieeg XR powered like the prototype by RMBCI 8 channels because the channels are all just on the face. But eventually, we'll have RMBCI 16 channels for having also electrodes behind, and it communicates with the Pieeg server. It's our operating system or our software that communicates with our shields and hardware. And the Pieeg server streams over the local network WebSockets. Every developer can use WebSocket. Again, we are not doing this for us, like building games, but we are building a platform for other for the companies or other developers to build games, and giving just an example what we can do with it. So it streams WebSockets, and the WebSockets get consumed by every web browser in the world, including the web browser inside the MetaQuest or Pico or any other major consumer VR. And at this point, we have also Pieeg GS. It's a JavaScript library because just having raw biosignals inside the browser, we just freeze the browser, and it's like voltages. What can we do with these voltages? Come in at 250 readings per second or 500. It's a lot of data for JavaScript developers, React developers, Angular developers. It's not a known territory. So we created a small library that can handle this easily and can give also hooks like for React developers, like use focus, they don't have to understand the math, or that can just use it to create really cool experiences. And I think it works because recently in Pieeg server, I received a pull request. A user from another part of the world created 2 games, and I was really proud. And he created the 2 games. I tested them with real hardware. He created them without hardware. This is a really an important part of Pieeg culture. Yes, we create hardware because we have to sell something. The software is open source, but also we create simulations because developers who don't have the money, resources, or I don't know, they have to work. They can work with BCI, and they're first class citizens. If you don't have hardware, I started with when we started creating the Pieeg server, we started with mock mode. This is the first thing, not with a shield and trying and no simulation. And because again, I'm not coming from neuroscience, so I'm coming from a practical engineering field. So if I have to work on something, I have to work on it fast, and if I have to do it fast, I have to have a great simulation for it. And I'm just sharing my developer setup with others.
How cool is that? Ildar, tell me, now you guys are on Kickstarter. Seems to be like a mask which you kind of attach to the virtual reality headset. Will this work on any virtual reality headset? That's my first question. Uh, and what's the software of this Pieeg XR? Because brain data is notoriously noisy. What's the cleaning and optimization framework for this?
For the mechanical part, there are a lot of manufacturers like MetaQuest or Pico or others. You can find face interface replacement to just remove theirs and put yours. It's like a piece of plastic. So just like it, yeah, exactly. Our piece of plastic includes hardware. Like Iron BCI 16 and or 8 and electrodes. This is the main difference. Just plug it, remove the old one, plug the new one, and that's it. the hardware doesn't communicate directly with MetaQuest or other headset VRs because we don't want to depend on their policies, how they manage data entry. And do we need to create an app for that? Do we need permission? We can't be compatible with everyone as a small team within Pieeg, asking permission to everyone. So this is the same formula as I described before. The small device, RMBCI 8 or 16, is streamed in the WebSockets over the web network. And these WebSockets get consumed inside in WebSockets or OEC, or for VR chat, for example, they use OEC protocol. It's basically the same, it's just two languages. And it gets into the local network, and the MetaQuest or others, they can communicate with local networks. For now, Pieeg XR operates inside a browser. So you open the browser, and you open a website like cloud.pieeg.com right now, and you have access to multiple experiences, out of the box. But if you are a developer who uses Unity, for example, to create specific, we have a plugin for Unity to make it easier. But even without a plugin, they can just consume again each WebSockets or OAC. Our device is agnostic. Who wants to listen, and who wants to play with the signal, play with it. And we create just smaller libraries to. You don't have to process 250 per second data. Use our library for it. It can handle it. It can put it into web workers or WASM, or we can do all the optimizations for you. Just use the signal and put it into your game, and everything will work like not like magic, but.
So maybe Yusuf or Ildar, maybe explain this a little bit better, because I mean, unlike building a virtual reality game using Unity, Unreal, or any of these 3D engine softwares, here you are saying that you're using the EEG data, and through the EEG data, you are able to control specific parts of the games, emotions and things like that. This brain data, it's extremely noisy, I mean, because
Oh, of course, I understand.
yeah, but because it's not invasive data. It's through it's non-invasive data. How is it making sense of the data? What's the optimization framework, and what is it that the user can build using the Pieeg XR server?
Um, the optimization, there are two things. There are raw data. You can use it because it's a transparency. Users have, even if there is noise, they have to check and use their raw data themselves. And we build a lot of experiences based on users' baseline. We don't have like a model or something that fits all. It's a model that fits you, and it fits you only. Just a quick example. We noise, for me, it's I like it a lot because noise can permit to give me the ability to make my avatar blink. Blinking is noise, it's artifacts, and I use them because they're really, really easy, and they're universal to use to make an avatar blinking. And how cool to make my avatar blinking, and all my friends can, But so noise is a part of the formula. What is noise? How can we use it? How can we optimize the user's experience with it? We cannot put it in trash. We can use it all. And other than noise, what is user baseline? And a user baseline, when he's calm, we can customize the experience on each user. This is my point of view. This is not any science, or just my intuition. And if each user customizes its own experience on its own body and physics and electricity and skin and how sweaty and everything, he can create his own experience. I don't want to create experience for him. I just want him to train an avatar or focus to move or lift something. There is something like focus we can use not for all users, I think, but can have baselines too. So there is no magical pipeline for this. This is per user pipeline for me. This is how I see it. But Ida can add something.
Yeah, so Ildar, maybe elaborate on this, because I mean, you had mentioned that there's this two key functions. One is your emotional synchronization, and the second is neuro interaction. Obviously, I think Yusuf also pointed out, focus to attention. Maybe elaborate all of these, three key things, emotional synchronization, neuro interaction, focus to action. Because virtual reality, mixed reality, so far, it's personally have been invested in the space for almost like 10 years, and it's been moving like really, really slow. And I guess, with the artificial intelligence craze, I think the attention which was going towards metaverse seems to be kind of dying out, but yes, obviously there's like a large group of people, developers who are still building a virtual reality. The tool of the addition capability of maybe, giving your avatar, maybe some kind of emotions, or maybe being able to control the avatar just through your brain is really, really like a cool feature. So yeah, Ildar, it'll be great if you could maybe elaborate on this, two or three key functions which your website claims, the emotional synchronization, the neuro interaction, as well as the focus to attention.
So it's a different ways. When we are talking about, for example, mask, actually we can call it EEG, also like an EOG. Probably it much more have connection with your muscle surround types. It's to transfer your mimic. But how control something in VR? For example, it was already integrated by AG server with VR chat, and you can already just only use with our devices, have connection with VR chat. And just only recently, I uploaded video. It's something like manual, and where I demonstrated how it's easily just only connect device and use VR chat software. Up to you developers. You can use focus to control your third arms or your ear. It's again up to you, or focus concentrations. So now users can just only take some biodata power in some frequency range and use it for additional functionality for your avatars. And is as one way, it's integrated in VI chat. And for another way, yes, I said we already confirmed it about mimics and something that we are working right now. And also about our mask, I would like to say that when I started, originally we made a big headset, as usually everyone do, electrode-located around head. But finally, Yusuf suggested, what about mask? Because I had suspicions. No, it doesn't work. It's too far. But it's actually the main innovation originally for the Pieeg XR. That's our electrodes located around face and facial expressions. So, but finally, when I starting operated with Pieeg server, I was super surprised. It works very well. So, but about some functionality, probably Yusuf also can add something.
Another piece of software that can enhance the XR experience and answer this kind of your question basically, but with natural and natural language is Pieeg agent. So it can interpret EEG data, and you can ask question about it. But of course, if we put like EEG data inside an LM, this is insane. There's nothing good comes from it. So we have like this thing we call a perception cascade. It's like we have a lot of data, and we create a lot of meaningful data from it, or metadata of the main data, and this metadata we use for the agent. But what is more exciting about the agent is not just a chat GPT for EEG. It's also chat GPT for EEG that can control your device. So if you have noise, you can inspect the device and tell you this channel is noisy because, or you can troubleshoot the device, and he can adjust the parameters. But for example, the band path or filters, or not autonomously, but he can execute action. So Pieeg XR with the Pieeg agent, if we open a website, we have 3D, but VR, XR, mixed reality experience with an agent that is exactly aware of our brain state and signal, and can assist. I don't know. We just opened the possibilities, and the other users can use these ideas and compose them and do something else.
Right. What's the go-to-market strategy? Because you guys are now going to be going live on Kickstarter. Is it something which you'll be selling it standalone, where anybody who's maybe like a researcher or developer can buy it and use it in their research or development? Or are you also planning to kind of maybe speak to larger companies like Meta, or maybe like an STC, and the other players who are building in the space, where your product might be integrated with it? What's the go to market plan?
Probably I can start. Yes, originally when we start thoughts about that, we thought about much more about gamers and users of some social via community as via chat. But actually we already see, and for this reason we extended our capability with channels on the backside around head, especially for academic market because they have a big interest for our product. And also it's some industry, of course, it's and healthcare, and we are looking. It's when we launch that we already established a connection with some areas that we didn't expect, and we are working already for software to much to improve our capability with requests from these companies. So it, as I said, yeah, originally it was gamers, but it's already gamers for startups, for it finally for healthcare. It will be different direction for our setup, and we integrated it for MetaQuest. But we right now we already have connection with Pico, and working for integrated also for Pico virtual headset. And yeah, I believe it's actually the main positive, the main achievement, or from our side, we are very flexible. If need, we very quickly move and do it if we have some response from the market. Yusuf, what you can say?
I don't know the exact future about this. I'm just too excited that it is gonna get to users' hands and developers, And for me, all the other things are details, but the main motivation before EEG, before everything, is when I was trying to buy a headset, and there are two different type of headsets: the normal one and the eye tracking one. And the eye tracking ones are like $1,000 to $2,000 more expensive than the. And I was just wondering why they putting two cameras, a camera inside the headset, and adding $2,000. It must be the algorithm. It's the computer. I don't know. It must be a big, huge problem. And Pieeg XR not only provides the biosignal data, it also can provide eye tracking, like where users' eyes are gazing, for much cheaper and accessible, and just the face to face, and there is no need to put a camera and track. It again, for me, about accessibility, affordability, and my philosophy. And, the rest is details.
No. So very cool. I think there should be more open source projects. Because you mentioned, I mean, just maybe two eye tracking cameras, and why the price has gone up so much. I think these big corporations who are building these headsets, I think there is a dire need of smaller players such as yourself, individuals who are building these open source tools which can get hooked onto HMDs, and it's more accessible, because I guess I think XR is one of the most potential technologies, but it's not got its due because of the price point at this point in time. And I guess maybe it still is maybe like it's still bulky. We still need to do more engineering on it, where we maybe miniaturize the the tech part of it, to maybe cram things in it to a point where it becomes something like this, maybe something as light as this. Because I guess that is when maybe users around the world would want to transition from maybe like a mobile to a head wearable device, because there is so much potential, because I also see that, our current device that we use, which is a mobile, it's kind of losing its utility, and we live in a 3D world, and our mobiles are flat interfaces, and if we have like an XR device, then we'll go from carrying technology to wearing technology, and the whole world becomes a screen. And in that world, if you have maybe like an approach where you can have these nano sensors which can read our brain signals to the neuronal details, I think the world is going to be completely, upended. Uh, when you say that Pieeg XR, we expect people to leverage it, developers or healthcare or institutes to use that tool and build on it. w- what do you expect, these people to build? I mean, is there an intuition that your product can build a certain kind of applications? Is there something that you guys are looking forward for?
We already have some experiences right now inside PyEG server. Uh, kind of the same. They share the same pack. Uh, for example, we have a game that we put you under stress. You are in car accident, and the more you are stressed, the more the accident is intense. And the less you're calm, when you calm yourself, even there is an accident, then the image shifts something color. This is to train for meditation, or I don't know, but just exploring. And again, uh, given an experience, it's open source about putting someone in stress, measuring EEG, and EEG uh, influence how the experience is intense or not intense. And that's in the developer or researchers did their own and test them. This is not tested or anything, just intuition.
Ildar, you want to share your thoughts on what creative ways you think users will be utilizing Pieeg XR to build, applications?
Yeah, it's. I believe that our main task provide not solution, provide instruments for them to create something. As I said, for VR chat, they are free. Create something absolutely new, like new arm, third arm, control something. For other YouTubers, VR tubers, it's something like new opportunity to animate your VR avatar. So from our side, we are here as companies that provide tools. Users can request tools which they need were created. But what exactly they will do, it's already something that they will decide. And actually, we are awaited and will be happy to see. Of course, we provide, as said Yusuf, some games, some basic opportunity for people who just only would like try to see it. But the main merit, the main benefit of this device, it's something that allow you create really something new. So user who bought it, he can make some small or big, some revolution in some area and create and demonstrate for everyone. Look at what was done by me, and everyone will be surprised. Wow, it's never done before. But from our side, just only we provide all, not just only hardware. Most importantly, it's software and support. We also have Discord. It's already almost 1K followers, users. So and actually, I expect and see what will be from industry. We already received very interesting implementations that we didn't know. Something for gaming, for sports also as well. So I am not sure that can I share it or not, but it's mainly it's a lot of that we didn't expect. So for this reason, when people receive it, especially creative people, I believe it will be something that surprises all of us.
There's a convergence going on at this point in time. We obviously seeing artificial intelligence accelerating at the speed of light, and there's also like a convergence of AI with biotech and AI with brain computer interface, because there are people such as Zifra or Zuna AI who are building a foundation model for brain computer interfaces. This convergence of AI and BCI is so very important, because I think eventually, I mean, what we're trying to do with brain computer interfaces, I think the end goal would be to build a device which would be able to maybe capture the entire structure and function of the brain, and then maybe bidirectionally, maybe nudge it to do things. What's your larger goal of brain computer interfaces?
I don't have large goals right now, but I have goals. For me, I want my environment to adapt to how I feel. You know, as easy as that. For example, if I enter a room, I'm sad. I want nice music. I want some. I don't know. I want to improve my environment. So, like in aquarium, I am small fish. I want to have the best aquarium possible, and I want it to adapt to me. I don't want to talk to it. I hate that it's like plastics and buttons. If if my environment can adapt to me, this is a big win for me. And later we can see if we can speak and with others. But just right now, adapting my environment.
Yeah, so maybe what you are saying, Yusuf, is maybe I think AI can already do that because you can speak to it, but you're saying that you don't want to speak to it, but maybe mind control it and control the entire environment with your just your brain. So I think it goes back to the same question that I think the larger goal of maybe any brain computer interface would be to capture the entire structure and function of the brain, because maybe like when you say that, because we already have tools which does maybe uh, thought to thought communication. Meta has been working on that, and there's also like thought to speech and so on and so forth. So yes, I think it's a fantastic technology, and I think the more you kind of probe into it, it's something which also bounces back to AI, because with artificial intelligence, I think where we are stuck is that we are building these large language models where there is no awareness in those models, because we are feeding it data of just images and text and video, when the only way maybe a large language model or an AI model would have some kind of an experience like how we do is maybe if we are able to back engineer our brain and are able to maybe create a model that is able to, like exactly you said, maybe is maybe aware of the environment. And I think then maybe we'll be able to parallelly, while we build brain computer interface, maybe we'll be able to take information of maybe your understanding of the or brain, and maybe reverse engineer that to build maybe machines which are general purpose, because I guess that's the goal. So maybe I was just trying to kind of push you towards the work that you are doing would eventually feed into building maybe general purpose machines, because I guess the larger goal right now with I think the frontier labs is to kind of understand the brain, and if we are able to do that, maybe you'll be able to kind of build. So it's a little tangent, so maybe would love to hear your thoughts on both of your thoughts on artificial general intelligence. What are your thoughts on that?
We already move in this direction, but I believe that in the first need start from hardware parts, because of course we expect a lot of AI. It's amazing, but we need to also provide something to AI. It should be huge data, but a lot of channels. It's something that's exactly what we are doing now with our new device. We are, I hope, in the very, very soon, we already provide something that's were not before for non-invasive technologies. Huge amount of channels with very good um, noise accuracy, and in this case, of course, we already will have absolutely new capability to make some suggestions, and it will be something like new round between brain and really what we can do with this information. So for this reason, just only give us a little more time, and probably we already after half year, 1 year, will something will provide for you something much more fundamental response what we can do in this case. But I would like to say that for us it's quite promising, not just only because AI, also because in our capability in hardware and also in AI and in all what we could, we did it, and everything going is very well here.
Yeah, so I think we'll be in such an exciting point of time. The reason I can kind of maybe like pushing it, because what the product that you guys are doing is maybe possibly the first step of having better understanding of the brain. I think the larger goal is to collect the EEG data, and through that EEG data, maybe that you will be able to build things which has more understanding, and so on and so forth. Any partnerships that is coming into shape that you guys would like to talk about?
We're talking with the Pico. We're talking with the other companies about the Pieeg XR. The Pico are wonderful. I just can't recommend enough how responsive and how how cool they are. So, but for me, my own roadmap for my own how I see things, Ildar is working really hard on hardware and focusing on the software side. And for me, I would like to, in a few months, have almost a lot of JavaScript developers. There are around 30 million before AI. I don't know how many JavaScript developers are to use something like this, and try to create experiences and communicate with me directly on Discord. I'm on Pieeg Discord all the time. So if they have problems and create as much as we can. I don't think in my lifetime I will see the BCA I have in my vision. But if we empower like 30 million person right now to do it, I'm quite sure. Yes, I'm quite sure it's impossible. So I would like to have as much as possible the people that use and try and build, experiment with BCI. And I think this is the only way to have cool products out of it, not from labs, not from big corporations, not from hidden and locked code. It's from developers, and that's all I have to say.
Right. No. All the best, and I hope that more developers around the world come and start developing on your platforms. Talking about AI, maybe I'm going to push it a little bit further, because there is this uh, fear that AI is going to take over, and even development is going to be maybe natural language, because there are people like Henson Wang, Imad Mostaq, Dario Amode. All of these guys are saying that even the basic tool of how we've been developing so far, using coding as a language, is going to transition to natural language interaction, where it's largely going to be people speaking and creating applications and so on and so forth. And I mean, what's your thought on that, the future of development?
This is the now of development. This is not the future of the. This is the perhaps since a few months since I don't know what the model exactly, but Anthropic's one of the Anthropic's model is last September. It was good enough to have some to create code. The issue is not coding. Coding now is solved, as they said. I believe so. Issue is the imagination. What do you want to code? What radical decision you are going to make? For example, PyEG server. We could have used other libraries to process the data. We could have used other technologies to stream the data inside the Liquid network, because WebSockets are not really optimized for that. But no, we battled for WebSockets because they are the, the way for democratizing the tech. And AI will never tell you this. AI will tell you this WebSocket is a really terrible idea. Don't use it because you gotta blow. So it's ideas, it's imagination, it's I don't know, it's exploration, and AI is just acceleration. It's not magical. It's instead of writing like a crazy and having my hands tired at the day, I can write small phrases, and debugging feels like a conversation. Before, like, if you have to go googling scavenger hunting a bug, like it take a few hours. Now it's a conversation. It's amazing. This is the new world for me, and this is the actual world. If nothing's more happen after that, I think I'm okay with it. But if there is EGI and more stuff, why not? But I'm really happy right now because I can do a lot. I think we can achieve a lot more in our lifetime now because of AI and technology. And For the other, to complement the question, we use right now natural language to control EEG device. This is much more interesting than just to have code written. We can have, yes, code written. We can have Jupyter notebooks that trains data on EEG and communicate with EEG. Right now, it's called Pieeg agent, and it's open source and free to use. So and it's compatible with other devices too. It's not locked to Pieeg. So yes, AI is very cool, but I treat it like a kid, a genius kid that can help me doing my stuff, and I try now to how to orchestrate them, how to try different combinations. It's like a soccer team again, the World Cup, but nothing magical for me.
Magical acceleration, let's say. It's not magical.
Magical acceleration, exactly. Say we had the TV with the black and white. Now we have a TV in color, and I don't know. We will have perhaps the Oculus version of AI. And
no, fair enough. Yeah, Ildar, you've been publishing extensively on Udemy, and you've been, pushing the education, pillar with, with these Udemy education for neuroscience and so forth. Will be great. Maybe you could, talk about that.
We have courses in Udemy. It's how it was born, because originally I received a lot of questions from people who use Pieeg device, who just only started, and it just only was a practical necessarily. And I decided, okay, probably it's the best way. Just only created courses for all of us and clearly demonstrated how to use EEG data. And also, it's already wrote published book in Springer about EEG for signal processing, and the base device was supposed to use it in this book. It's Pieeg. So for all my courses, I use a dataset from Pieeg. For books, the next books is already also from Elsevier, but the main difference that's I provided information also for EMG, EOG, ECG, not for all of these types of biodata signals. And it's in spite of we have AI, and we can say, okay, maybe you can use AI to receive all answers, but anyway, it's the best situation when you can start use it. And for education purposes, it has some general background in your head. You should some feelings that you understand before start asking AI. So for this reason, we can say from one side we don't need already books and courses, but from another side, it's better come to AI when you have some background to much more clearly and much more wise ask UI and communicate with AI. So for this reason, yes, we have courses still populated, and moreover, yeah, we will make, and probably Yusuf can provide some information. When you ask it about some big plans, we actually have so big plans that we absolutely forget about this one direction. It's academia, and probably Yusuf can provide some information.
I grew up coding online and checking tutorials, and then after that, we had the website that exists right now, like Code Academy and Khan Academy and a lot of stuff. And these websites replicate the same patterns. We have a place to code, live code, and we have a place of video, some text, and it's very interactive, a very cool way to learn. And lately they added some AI. They can ask questions. They have to solve the problem. We just gonna bring this general idea how to learn how to code to how to learn how to BCI, and with device. So the website will be connected to a device. For example, you will be asked to put it here or here, and you can analyze the signal, apply some filter, you use your code with Python inside the browser. So never leave the browser to learn. Have an AI, have a video, something to explain the course, and try to create some interactive new way to learn BCI. Again, I have a private secret plan to enroll 30 million developers in BCI. So let's try that.
No. So that's such a big, we keep on pushing that, and more power to you. And
Yeah,
we
thank
need,
you.
obviously, more people to come in and develop this, So maybe, let's talk about, let's go slightly futuristic, I mean, with brain-computer interface, maybe the end goal is, something called as a full dive virtual reality. I'm sure you guys have heard about full dive virtual reality, where there are these series such as Black Mirror, which kind of shows you, what the future would look like, when people have these brain computer interfaces where they are maybe sitting at home and then they are transported or teleported into other worlds with all five senses, exactly like how we perceive a world, with like sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste, with the evolution of brain computer interface, where we are able to maybe completely capture the structure and function of the brain. Maybe we'll push them into those kind of worlds, and then maybe video games or movies will not be passive, it will be interactive, where we'll be in the world. What are your thoughts about something like that, a futuristic world? Because you guys have taken the step of creating these like a marrying like virtual reality with brain computer interfaces, so what are your thoughts on this, like future scenarios which maybe series such as Black Mirror has depicted?
I think it depends on the company, on who created what. Right now we can do pretty much a lot of what you described, not teleportation, not outsource, but adapting the environment again. This is easy. This is done right now. But it depends. There are companies like that have obscure algorithms. They have obscure data collection policies. They don't disclose what they do with the data, even if it's just noise. They have to. We don't know anything about anything. Uh, these are problematic companies. There are companies like Pieeg. We have open source the code. Everybody can inspect it. Now with EIs, you can just have the drag and drop the repo and ask EI, is this code gonna steal my my money operated, and the AI will answer. So everything is transparent. So if I think users right now we have the opportunity to shape the technology. For example, in this forum, I receive a lot of requests. Ideas. We could do this like this. We could split OA OSC. We could, and sometimes the ideas are quite good, and we get them implemented live. So I think users right now who are interested in BCI can shape where BCI can go. For example, they can support support more businesses who respects privacy and open source their code. It's like supporting Linux when Linux was with Windows, or they can support Windows and Apple and Mac OS and all closed hardware and software. In 10, 20 years, the Apple and Mac OS and the I don't know, will have great success. They will have great objects to sell, and the user experience will be seamless and cool because there is a commercial market. But we will lose what is essential to us, like our privacy and the code and the future of humanity. And how did you do this? How can we replicate it? How can we build upon it? And I think right now this is the best time to shape BCI. If I'm outside the industry, I'll go to Discord, I go to forums, I'll participate in how do you protect privacy of user? How do you collect the data? What do you do with the data? What do you train? Can you disclose who can use it? Anyway? Users can do this right now, and there is enough immaturity in the market so that if they can be really influenced. This is not, but in 10 years it will be too late.
Right. So just to add on to it, and I would love to get Ildar's thought onto it also. I guess when maybe Mark Zuckerberg started the Facebook network, the intention was never to kind of maybe hoard the user data or manipulate the user's data. I think brain computer interface is possibly something like that, because I think it's one of the most potential technology, because here we are not playing with maybe just passive data, but here we are going inside into the brain, and eventually I'm sure the intent is always good, but tomorrow if we are able to capture the entire brain data, i- I'm sure there'll be some bad actors who will come in and who will be able to kind of nudge it to the way they want, because a world is always maximizing for profit, so there will always be that chance of people kind of tinkering around with the most resourceful data, which is the brain data. Would love your thoughts on that, both Ildar and Yusuf.
I'm not sure about these types of application. Of course, we can see in the future what will happen. But yes, you're right. In this case, since it's data about what going around some person in virtual reality or not, and we can receive information about his expressions. And for some type of applications can be used, but for now it's not something that we are looking for right now, I believe. But I don't know. Probably Yusuf can say something.
But it's just a matter of regulations and awareness, education. You know, with the Pieeg Academy, we're going to have chapter about how to protect your data. Inside Pieeg server, there is no authentication because we tell the user that the best authentication is your local network. This data will never and should never leave your local network. You are not authorized to use it in internet. We are not advising it. So it's just education and the regulation. I believe we don't have anything. The market will have its say, but right now I just the timing for me it's a really good timing to influence an industry because it's at the beginning, you know, and this is really good.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So yes, I would love to close with this because I think we are sitting in such a fantastic point of time. I think the biggest race today is to understand the human brain. And there are various organization people working on brain computer interfaces. There are people working on uh, understanding the brain also, through approaches such as connectomics, where they are capturing the structural data of a brain. uh, there are these approaches, because they know if you are able to understand the brain completely, we'll be able to reverse engineer it and build the general purpose machine. The entire vision or the large goal of everybody is. And even with the brain computer interface, I mean, who are we, what are we are this 80 billion neurons and 100 trillion synapses, and the way they fire and wire it it brings about all of five senses: sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste. And if through a brain computer interface we are able to capture the structure and function of the entire brain data, then Gwala, I think we will become godlike, because then we'll be able to create godlike technologies. And obviously, I mean, if it goes into the wrong hand, we'll be able to create things which could be extremely disastrous, because we'll be able to completely peek into the brain. What is a person thinking, what is a person going to say, and things like that. So it's exciting, but yes, as well as scary. I think Pieeg XR, you guys are doing really, really cool, shaping that maybe doorway of which could open up. What opens up, I mean, we really will not know. So would love your last ending thoughts from both of your sides, maybe like a pitch or to the developers, and where do you guys see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years?
For developers, simply come and join us to Pieeg Discord. You can find the link in the pieeg.com website. Um, we are working really hard for accessibility, for developer experience, user experience, but developer experience is really, really important. So if a developer wants to experiment or create a production ready project or product that uses EEG data or ENG or biosignals in general, I think he should consider joining our Discord first. This is my pitch. 5 to 10 years, I don't know. I don't have. This moves very, very fast. I don't know next month, you know. So 5 to 10 years, it's like eternity.
Yeah, agree. Just only would like to add, just yes, exactly. In PyG, we didn't mention today, but we're also moving to neurostimulation. So we're already working to create product to provide analyze setup for people who use vagus nerve stimulation via our device. They can understand finally how it works, make some analyze additional data to understand how works vagus nerve stimulation. So for this reason, we are going to vagus nerve stimulation, EEG, but I would like to say, I believe that we will move much more to apply it, to make it much more wearable, useful for real life, not just only for that it was decades before us. And some people already start thinking probably it's just on the bubble and some discussions, but we can see already that now that's going. Also, it's Octopus 16 we didn't mention, but probably it will call something like first gaming brain computer interfaces. It's very small, just only put and you can play games. We already tested it. But it's not 5 it's something that's happened already in this year, in the next few months. About 5, I also don't know what will be the next year, because just only for the last year we already created a lot. Not last, for the last half year it was created so much, and I said, Yusuf, just I will travel it after around 1 week. He said me, when you return back, it's everything be changed. Yeah. So yeah, I believe, yeah.
So thank you, Ildar. Thank you, Yusuf, for taking time and being part of the podcast. Yes, I think we're sitting in such a fantastic point of time, and maybe just to kind of push on to the thing that I think the brain, I think it's the black box, and if we are able to kind of completely map it, and the what we could reverse engineer could be magic. And wish you guys the very best for what you're building. And to my listeners, if you like what you see in here, then please press the subscribe button. Until next time, thank you. Appreciate this. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.